In the shadows of existence, I have watched countless souls struggle. I have heard their cries, witnessed their pain, and felt their desperate longing for sympathy, for a hand to pull them from the darkness. They yearn for someone to notice their suffering, to acknowledge the weight they carry. Yet, time and time again, I have seen a cruel truth. No one truly cares about your struggles until you rise above them. It is a bitter reality, but a necessary one. Those who wade through the storm and find the strength to emerge stronger on the other side are the ones who capture the attention of the world. It is not in the suffering itself that we are seen, but in the overcoming. The world may look away as you falter, but they will turn their eyes to you when you stand tall. The struggle is a private one, often unseen, but the victory, that is what the world acknowledges. I will guide you through 7 reasons why your struggles remain invisible to others, and why, in the end, it is you who must rise to claim the victory that will force the world to take notice. Unseen nature of struggle. A young man came to me, broken and disheartened. "Why does no one understand my pain?" he asked, his voice laced with frustration. "I've been through so much, yet no one seems to care." I gazed at him, understanding his hurt. The nature of struggle is invisible. The weight you carry is felt only by you. Those around you may see the outward signs, the exhaustion in your eyes, the weariness in your soul, but they cannot feel the crushing pressure you face within. His struggles were real, yet no one could truly comprehend the depth of his suffering. The truth was simple. Struggle in its raw form is invisible to the world. The only way for others to understand it is if you make it visible through your triumphs. The world doesn't notice the fight within you, because it's not always reflected in your actions, in your appearance, or in the stories you tell. It is something you must endure alone, behind closed doors. Your struggle will remain unseen until it becomes the victory that others can witness. Reluctance to acknowledge weakness. There was a woman who, despite her hardships, refused to let anyone see her pain. She put on a mask of strength, never asking for help, never revealing her vulnerability. She believed that if she showed even the slightest crack, the world would abandon her. But inside she was breaking. The weight of her burdens pressed down on her, and yet she kept walking the path alone, too proud to ask for support. I spoke to her one evening. "You hide your struggles because you fear the judgment of others. But what you fail to understand is this: no one can see your strength until you let them see your weakness. It is only in revealing your pain that others will truly witness your resilience." She hesitated but realized that the world would not acknowledge her silent struggle until she allowed herself to be seen. People respect triumph over adversity, not the perfect facade. It is in your brokenness that you find your true strength, and in that strength others will come to understand your journey. Necessity of personal transformation. A man came to me defeated by life's blows. He had lost his job, his relationships were crumbling, and his dreams were slipping through his fingers like sand. "Why does no one care that I am struggling?" he asked, his voice a mixture of anger and despair. "I'm drowning, yet no one notices." I looked into his eyes and said, "The world does not care about your struggles because, until you change, they are just struggles. The moment you rise above them, The moment you transform through the pain, only then will people notice. It is not enough to suffer. It is in the transformation that the world sees you. This man's pain was valid, yet it held no power until he allowed it to shape him into someone stronger. The world doesn't celebrate the struggle itself. It celebrates the victory that comes after the battle. Those who rise from the ashes are the ones whose stories are told, not those who remain in the pit of despair. Selfishness of sympathy. Have you ever noticed how people often surround themselves with those who have overcome great trials, but shy away from those who are deep in the struggle? Sympathy, it seems, is a fleeting thing. People may feel for you in the moment of your suffering, but their support often fades once the novelty wears off. A man once came to me seeking sympathy. His business had failed, his relationships had crumbled, and his health was failing. He begged for attention, for someone to feel sorry for him. I told him, sympathy is a fleeting shadow. It is here today, gone tomorrow. People care not for your struggle but for your triumph. You will receive sympathy in the moment. But true recognition comes when you overcome what once seemed insurmountable. It's harsh, but true. The world craves success, not suffering. People are more interested in your ability to rise than in your willingness to wallow in pain. The world pays attention to those who emerge victorious, not those who ask for pity. Universal desire for achievement. A woman faced financial ruin. Her savings were gone and she didn't know how to make ends meet. Every day she asked for help, whether through loans, favors, or support from others, but it seemed that no one had the capacity to care. Her world was shrinking, yet she was met with silence. One night I spoke to her. Do you understand now? The world does not care about your struggle because everyone is focused on their own fight. The world cares about achievement, and it is only when you overcome that they will stop and take notice of your journey. She realized that her pain, as real as it was, didn't capture the attention of others. But the moment she overcame it, when she stood tall and succeeded despite her obstacles, the world would applaud her, and her struggle would finally be seen for what it was, a victory. The world does not care about your struggles because it is too preoccupied with its own, but in the end, it will recognize your victory, because success speaks a language that all can understand. Loneliness of unnoticed pain. A man had been carrying the weight of an emotional burden for years. He had lost someone dear to him, and the grief had shaped his every thought. But he did not speak of it to anyone, thinking that if he showed his pain, he would be seen as weak. So he carried it in silence. I spoke to him one evening. The loneliness of your struggle is not because you are undeserving of support. It is because you have refused to let anyone see your pain. Until you share your struggle, until you rise from it, the world will not care. You are alone in your suffering because you have hidden yourself away from others. It is a hard truth. No one will notice your struggle if you never show it. You must open the door to your heart, allow others to see your pain, and let them witness your resilience. The world will care when they see you rise, not when you remain in the dark, alone with your sorrow. Triumph of the human spirit. In the end, I have seen countless souls stand before me, bruised, battered, and broken. Yet, it is not their wounds that define them. It is how they rise from them. The greatest victories, the ones that earn the world's attention, are not those that come without struggle, but those that emerge from the crucible of hardship. A woman who had been betrayed by everyone she trusted once came to me, convinced that the world had forgotten her pain. But over time she began to heal. She rebuilt her life piece by piece, and with each piece, she became stronger, more confident, and more determined. When she finally stood tall, unbroken and proud, the world saw her for the first time, not as a victim but as a victor. And in that moment they understood her pain because they could see how far she had come. The world will not care about your struggles until you overcome them. But once you rise, once you stand tall in the face of adversity, your victory will speak louder than any cry for help ever could. Power of the overcomer. I have watched the struggle unfold countless times, and I have seen that it is not the suffering that defines a soul, but the triumph over it. The world may not care about your pain, but it will care about your strength. It will recognize you when you rise above the ashes, when you turn your struggle into your strength. You will not be seen in the moments of your deepest sorrow, but when you overcome, when you emerge victorious, that is when the world will finally take notice.